In a quiet village wrapped in mist and memory, lived a girl named Adanna. She was known not for her strength, nor her beauty, though she had both, but for the mystery in her tears. They said when she cried, her tears shimmered with silver light, and when placed on a wound, the skin would heal. No one knew how or why, not even Adanna. Some came to see her as a gift from the gods. Others whispered behind her back, calling her cursed. She smiled anyway, but only when no one was watching. Adanna spent her days helping the sick, tending to old women and dying trees, listening to broken stories she could never fix. And every night, she returned home to silence, until the day they brought in a warrior. He was barely breathing, bloodied from a battle with bandits on the outskirts of the village. His name was Chinidu, and when Adanna laid her hand upon his chest, something stirred inside her. Her tears fell, not out of duty, but out of something deeper, something she didn't yet understand. As the silver droplets touched his wounds, his breath steadied, his eyes fluttered open, and they locked with hers. For the first time in her life, Adanna felt seen, and Chinidu, though still weak, smiled like he had been waiting just for her. Days passed, and Chinidu remained in the village, his wounds slowly healing, but his visits to Adanna never stopped. He no longer came seeking her tears. He came to sit with her under the orange tree behind the healer's hut, to watch the wind stir the leaves, to hear her laugh, quiet and rare. He brought her carved beads, stories of battles, and once a single feather from a bird that sang in the forbidden hills. "You deserve to see the world," he said once, watching her crush herbs in silence, not just carry its pain. She looked at him, unsure how to answer. No one had ever said such things to her. Somewhere between the still moments and stolen glances, they stopped needing words. They simply were, together, and it was enough. One evening, as the sky bruised into dusk, Chinidu turned to her. "My whole life, I've fought with blades and scars. But one day," he paused, "one day, I will fight for something that matters. For you." Adanna's heart skipped. She wanted to believe him, to trust that love, like her tears, could be pure and true. But somewhere in the shadows of the village, envy was already watching. And peace, like all beautiful things, never stays for long. The village chief, Okafor, was a man of many masks. To the people, he was wise. To his guards, commanding. But inside, he boiled with silent pride. He had watched Chinidu's rise. A warrior once broken, now praised. He had seen Adanna's name spoken with reverence. Crowds gathering, whispering of her gift. And each whisper sounded like a threat. "This girl," he muttered to his priest one evening, "was never meant to love. She was sent by the gods. Her tears are sacred. Her heart should not belong to any man." But the truth was simpler. He envied her. Envied that the people turned to her before him. Envied the light in Chinidu's eyes when he looked at her. So, one night, under the cover of drums and drink, Chief Okafor sent his guards to Adanna's hut. She didn't scream. She didn't fight. She simply looked at them, silent, confused, and heartbroken. They took her deep into the forest's edge, where the dark priest lived, the one who worshipped silence and bound spirits. There, a ritual was performed. A charm of ash and thorn was placed upon her chest. From that moment forward, Adanna's tears dried. Her heart ached, but nothing would fall. Chief Okafor returned to the village and declared, "The gods have spoken. She is not to be touched, not to be loved. She is sacred now, sealed." And the people, afraid of the unknown, obeyed. But Chinidu he did not. Adanna sat alone in a small hut at the edge of the village, her wrists bound not by rope, but by silence. No one visited. No one spoke her name. The trees outside swayed like they mourned her. Days turned into nights. Her skin lost its glow. Her lips, once soft with laughter, cracked with dryness. She tried to cry, for herself, for Chinidu, for all she had lost, but no tear came. Her gift had been locked away. But it wasn't the power she missed. It was him. Far from her, Chinidu searched. At first, the villagers turned their heads. Then he demanded answers. When he learned of the sealing, Something inside him snapped. She was never yours to control, he spat at the chief. She was never yours to love, the chief answered coldly. But Chinita didn't argue. That same night, he took only a small satchel and his sword and walked alone into the Forbidden Hills, a place few dared enter, guarded by spirits, old laws, and whispers that turned brave men weak. I don't need magic, he whispered to the night. I need her. Behind him, the village pretended to sleep, but in a hut on the edge of the trees, Adanna lay still, her eyes barely open, her soul dimming like a lantern running out of oil. She didn't know it yet, but love was coming for her. The Forbidden Hills were not made of rock and earth alone. They breathed, they watched, they whispered. Chinita climbed through Mystica's memory, branches reaching like fingers to test his resolve. Shadows followed him, not of beasts, but of regrets. He saw Adanna's face in the fog, heard her laugh twist into sobs. Still, he pressed on. At the highest peak, where silence itself stood still, he found the spirit. It wore no form, only light. Its voice was both thunder and whisper. Why have you come, warrior? Chinita fell to his knees. To save her, he said. To give her back what you never should have taken. The spirit replied, she was taken by man, not by gods. But to free her, you must prove your love. Not with sword or oath, but with your heart. Chinita closed his eyes. Then take it, he whispered. The spirit came closer. No, just cry. Chinita's eyes filled, not with pride, not with anger, but with pain, with helplessness, with love too heavy to carry. And when the tear fell, it shimmered, silver and soft, just like hers. The spirit touched his chest and smiled. You carry her inside you. That is enough. A charm of light, shaped like a teardrop, appeared in his hand. Placed this on her heart before her final breath. Chinita didn't thank the spirit. He just ran. The sun had barely risen when Chinita reached the village. His feet bled. His breath came in gasps. But he didn't stop. He pushed past guards, ignored shouts, burst into the hut where Adanna lay. She was still, too still. Her chest barely moved. Her skin pale like morning mist. Her hands cold. Adanna, he whispered, kneeling beside her. I'm here. No answer. He placed a charm, the glowing teardrop, over her heart, trembling. His fingers brushed her cheek. Please, he whispered. I came for you. He leaned closer and wept. One tear, then another, fell onto the charm. And just as the third hit, Adanna gasped. Her eyes flew open, wide, frightened, then soft as they found his face. Chinita, she breathed. She began to cry, the silver tears returning, slow and shining. One slid down her cheek and landed on his hand, warm. She was back. Outside, the villagers had gathered. They watched in silence as the girl they feared rose. Chief Okafor stepped forward, stunned. But the people turned from him. E's elders approached and stripped his staff from his hand. The gods need no chains, one said. Chinita stood and helped Adanna to her feet. No words, just hands held tight. And as they walked through the crowd, past eyes now filled with awe, they stepped beyond the village gates into the light. Love had not only healed, it had saved.